Today we made an offer that the Ukrainians have accepted, which is to enter into a ceasefire and into immediate negotiations to end this conflict in a way that's enduring and sustainable and accounts for their interests, their security, their ability to prosper as a nation. I want to personally thank, we both want to thank the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Majesty, for hosting us, for making this possible. They've been instrumental in this process, and we're very grateful to them for hosting us here today. And hopefully we'll take this offer now to the Russians. And we hope that they'll say yes, to peace. The ball is now in their court. And but again, the President's objective here is, number one, above everything else, he wants the war to end. And I think today Ukraine has taken a concrete step in that regard. We hope the Russians will reciprocate.
Wow. So amazing news. This is a big deal, guys, because I should just point out that they've been trying to get this for quite some time. And I should emphasize that this was really one of the contingencies, if you would, of what Trump insisted on having from we're just fixing our lower thirds here on the screen, from Ukraine. If you go back to those fireworks, one of his frustrations with Zelensky was that Zelensky was not willing to agree to that ceasefire, if you'll recall. And so that was effectively the dust up. And Donald Trump kept saying, look, you don't have the cards. Like, what are you going to do without us? You don't have the U.S. backing you. And if you're not going to agree to some kind of deal where we have a ceasefire agreement, if we're going to continue this fighting while we're trying to work this out, then we're not here for you, and we're not going to participate in that. So this is a huge development, again, just underway right now. We're learning that Marco Rubio has gotten Ukraine to the table, and this comes after a pretty tumultuous couple of weeks. Was it a week? Has it been 2 weeks? I mean, this news cycle's been so fast, right? But don't forget that recently, I guess it was just last week, you had Zelensky in the Oval Office and making it very clear in a very sort of antagonistic way that he did not want to move forward with some kind of peace agreement. And it was like, what is he doing? Like, the only thing he had to do was go and eat some humble pie, right, with Donald Trump, and then he would have the U.S. continue to back him. He decided to avoid that tactic. There had been some speculation that maybe some Democrats got to him and said, hey, you really got to stand up for yourself, this, that, and the other. And whatever happened, I would just make it really clear that this didn't work. You'll recall, of course, just again, a lot of fireworks. Let's go and take a listen to Zelensky back then.
Дивіться,
Oh.
я коли
Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened, but he didn't break it with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thank you.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position
on
to
this question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very
you will
good.
Feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very
You
strong.
will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very
So
good
again, the news just coming in that they have agreed to a ceasefire, and that is encouraging indeed. This is what the Trump administration had been holding out for, and they actually cut off the last bit of intelligence that they were offering to Ukraine. Ukraine really couldn't fight that without having some U.S. intelligence and some sort of bodies on the ground and ability to read what was going on vis-a-vis what was coming in from Russia. So this is a big, big step in terms of achieving some kind of peace here. I should point out that, again, the frustration was we're giving you all this money, we can't entirely see where it's going, and we thought this would be over by now. And the American people just didn't really have the appetite when it came, push came to shove. You look at, for example, the NATO map between 1998 and 2022, you've seen increasingly that NATO has taken more territory. And so this is a viewpoint that's gotten some oxygen recently. Donald Trump saying, hey, you know what, if it's that important to you, if that's what you really care about Europe, you're going to have to step up and you're going to have to shoulder a little bit more of this burden. Here he is in the White House saying this just about a week ago.
We're committed to NATO, but NATO has to step up, and the Europeans have to step up more than they have. And I want to see them equalize, because they are in for far less than we're in, and they should be at least equal. You understand that? Why is the United States, we have an ocean in between, why is the United States in for so much more money and other things as Europe? With that being said, and as you said, they've also been obviously very helpful, but we have put in far more than they have, and I think they should equalize.
Boom. So we'll see how this goes. They're going to take this to the Russians at this point, say that Ukraine has agreed to the 30-day ceasefire, and we'll see where we go from here. Of course, that mineral rights deal, right, which is really important to Donald Trump as well, so that we had some compensation for the work that we're putting in to this effort here.